good day, everybody. Welcome back to another episode live from Jerusalem with Rabbi Chaim Goldberg with our growing group on Zoom meeting. It's getting quite large. We look like today we're joined by Peter over in the UK. We got Scotty Helton down south. We got Solveig over in Germany, Cole Younger in Seattle, Timothy in Nova Scotia. We got Amuela, Terry Hayes down in Tennessee. We got Dennis and his wife, Peshek Sherbo in Svat, Tony down in Arizona, plus, of course, Rabbi Chaim Goldberg. So I'm going to just turn it over to Rabbi Goldberg. Rabbi, you're on. So good to see you. I hope everybody's safe over there in your family. You got it.
Yes. Thank you. Thank God. First of all, good evening, everybody from Israel. Good evening for everybody. And in Israel, we are all safe. I think that we're taking this Corona thing very seriously, and we managed to restore ourselves, from all of this coronavirus. I'm very glad to see all of us from all over the world. So I think that we can say that here in this lesson, we starting to see how the world could be one piece, even though we are in all sorts of nations and people from all over the places on the live and also on the YouTube and Facebook. I can't even catch how many people, who is coming here. Also, the Lithuanian people are also coming inside. So it's good to see you all. Just a moment. Now I'm looking for the slides that I had last week. Just a moment. Let me find them. In a moment, I will find them. And we will start diving inside to the things that we did. We started to speak last week. I want to remind us all that last week, you can hear me fine. Yes, Dan? Everything is okay?
Yeah, I can hear you, Rabbi. I wish your mic was a little bit closer to you, but, it really comes down to the audience. We get better. Yeah, we got to get you a proper clip, Rabbi. I should try and send you something.
I will try to organize for myself. Okay, fine. Last week, we started to speak about the positive things, okay? If I will say like that, if one of the things that I'm saying all the time that we need to not to do mistakes when we are learning the Bible. So we want to learn the foundation of the Bible. One of the things that we said is, so we said few points. I will say it like that. We said few points. Let me find it in a moment. Just a moment. Let me find it. Maybe it's here. Just a moment. No, it's not. You see, we lost a week, so okay, I don't know where it is. So I'll speak by heart, and we'll open other things. So we said
if you need me to pull up some verses, Rabbi, I can do that.
From last week, I can't find the PowerPoint that I showed everybody. Let me try again last time, and we'll see. I know where it is. Here it is. I will find it. I wasn't in the right place.
We will wait on you, Rabbi, because you are worth waiting for.
Thank you very much. The English people, the American people are so polite. Thank you very much for that. Here it is. I found it. I'm going to do a share. That's it. We're going to start. Sorry for the lateness. Here it is. Okay. Everybody came back. Tony, it's good to see your cow there. It's very nice to see your cow.
We're used to sitting at a table and waiting to be served our dinner.
Here it is. That's it. We're starting. Last week, we started to speak about the fundamentals of learning, of the teaching of the Bible. And we spoke about a few points. I want to expand those points today, to start to expand them. And for that, I'm going to go to the basic rule number 2, that is speaking about the creator's will and the creation of man. And we quoted those verses that saying that God created men in the image of God. And we need to understand the logic of this point. Okay, I'm diving straight inside because we had already enough time that I spent up looking for everything. With the Corona preparation of Passover. So I'm diving inside. We need to understand every person that here in this world, and this is what God did. He created person that have some image of God with the uniqueness of morality from one side. And also, you can't speak about moral things if you're not speaking about the possibilities, the free choice that everyone have. If you won't give him a free choice, so he is a robot. He's not someone that have the possibility of behaving in a moral way. I can't go to the cow and be angry if the cow is not giving us enough milk or giving us more milk. It's not something that we can do. We can, because the cow, the nature of cow is to give milk. If we will give them enough food in the right measurement of the food, we will get the exact measure of milk out from the cow because it's a machine. God created people in the image of God because the purpose of man is to acknowledge the greatness of God who created him, and he is giving or is doing this thing by having a free choice to decide if he have this acknowledgement or not. We know a lot of people that don't want to acknowledge the existence of God. Okay, what we call the secular people that we have in this world. I think that I told you more than once when one of my students, I was teaching for more than 30 years, students in the teenagers, and we all know that it doesn't matter what the parents think. As a teenager, you have all the rebellions to do or to think whatever you want to think. And not once and not twice, people came to me and said to me, but Rabbi, I don't want to pray. I don't believe in God. And my answer always was, never mind. At least he believes in you and he's giving you more life. Hey God. And we need to understand, every person have the ability, the free choice to decide if he believes in God or not. And if he believes in God, if he believes that this is a God who, in his free will, God's free will, decided to do this greatness and this goodness of creating men. And God is, I will say God demand, or God's, it's not demanding because we said it more than once. In Hebrew, the word mitzvah, the word commandment, is also the word of being part of a team. It's the same word. So God wants us to become part of his team by our own free will, and to use everything that he gave you in this world, all of this goodness that he gave in this world, that we will manage to operate the world to the better place. Now, what happened? What happened when the first man had? Let's ask all of us. Let's open the microphone for a moment before I will go to the. Can you see the thing that I am pulling here? Now I move to the Bible. Okay. What happened when God? First of all, let's discuss for a moment. The first commandment that man got in his life was in what I will say, in what level? Between man and himself, man with God, or man with the other person? Who remember what was the first?
Be fruitful and multiply.
Fruitful and multiply was more a blessing.
Oh, gotcha.
It wasn't so much a commandment. It was a blessing. It's something that will happen to you. And God is giving you the blessing, because if you will think about this normally, why do we have this multiply and fruitful, those two things? Why do we have that? Usually maximum maybe one can bring another one, but also to have more than one and to be fruitful, that it's also very unique. This is the blessing of God in this world. But he had a special commandment, the first commandment that man got from God. What was it?
Don't eat the fruit of the tree of knowledge.
Okay, don't eat the fruit of the tree of knowledge. So this is something between God and men. Okay, it's not something that is related between men and another in his fellow men, between God and men. And we all know what happened. They ate from the fruit of the knowledge. Okay, we're not going to go deep inside to that, but the punishment, because he ate from the fruit of knowledge, the punishment is very interesting. Okay, let me share again the screen. The punishment is going out to an exile, right? Exile from where? Exile from Eden. Now you're going to read those verses, okay? Read, please, verse number 22, 23, 24.
21, 22, 23, and 24?
You can read also 21, yes, to see how much God have a lot of mercy and giving another.
All right. And the Lord God made for Adam and for his wife shirts of skin, and he dressed them. Now the Lord God said, behold, man has become like one of us, having the ability of knowing good and evil. And now, lest he stretch forth his hand and take also from the tree of life and eat and live forever. And the Lord God sent him out of the Garden of Eden to till the soil whence he had been taken. And he drove the man out, and he stationed from the east of the Garden of Eden the cherubim and the blade of the revolving sword to guard the way of the tree of life.
Now, what we see here, first of all, we're starting to understand that there is some sort of an exile from Eden, that man is moving out from Eden. God is sending him out from Eden. But we can see also how much God was with a lot of mercy, because when men went out from Eden, man suddenly understood that he is naked, and God, even though men disobeyed the words of God, God created for them, God made for them dress, and he dressed them. So God is not trying to, I will say, to do bad things to men. He was really expecting that men will do the best, and that there will be partners, I will say it like that, between men and between God and Adam. But Adam failed. So God said, let's try, or let's give him another opportunity. And the next opportunity is going to be not the relationship between man and God, but between the relationship between man and his fellow men. And this, I want to go a bit more deeper inside. Okay, so I'm going to read this in where is it? I'm losing you here. Okay, let's go on. Here I want to understand this. I will say, first of all, I will say the conclusion. After Cain is killing Abel, and we know that those two, that was supposed to be, now we need to repair the relationship between man and his fellow men. After Cain is killing Abel, we can see that God is doing to him something very similar. He's also sending him to an exile. Okay? And he says, read please verses number 11 and 12, Dan.
Verse 11, and now you are cursed even more than the ground, which opened its mouth to take your brother's blood from your hand. When you till the soil, it will not continue to give its strength to you. You shall be a wanderer and an exile in the land.
Okay, so also for the second day, I will say the second day sin that the humanity in those days did, The first one was between man and God. The second one is between man and his fellow men for the same conclusion. The conclusion is to go to an exile, not to be in your place, to go to an exile. The first one is to go to an exile out from Eden. The second one is to be in an exile in this world. Okay, this is, first of all, we need to start to understand the structure of history, what's happening here. But I want to learn those verses a bit more, I will say, in a bit more profound understanding, because it's very important also to start to realize exactly what's happening here. Those are things that we already spoke about, but again, we are putting all the foundations, so we will manage to continue on. So from time to time, we also repairing or we repeating things that we spoke about. Now, Dan, please read the first verse, and it is a very important one. And we're going to understand it's a bit different than the Christian world. I'm sorry, even though we are on the internet. Yes, Dan.
Verse 1?
Yes.
Verse 1 says, "Now the man knew his wife Eve, and she conceived and bore Cain, and she said, I have acquired a man with the Lord."
So the first thing I want to say, that we're speaking here about something that happened not after Adam and Eve were being exiled from Eden. We're speaking about something that happened in Eden. And the difference is very, very important. Okay, so we read this Rashi a few times, but please, Dan, read this Rashi commentators, what he said here in this
Now the man knew this took place prior to the above episode, before he sinned and was banished from the Garden of Eden. Also, the conception and the birth took place before. For if it were written, it would mean that after he had been banished, he had sons.
Okay, so what we're saying here, it's one of the mistakes that we're doing always, that we are translating the Bible. Now, if you're looking on this chapter after chapter after chapter, this chapter is coming after man was kicked out from Eden. So there are people who are mistaking and understanding that everyone that is being giving birth after man was being kicked out from Eden, it's only because of the sin. He is already carrying on his back the sin of Adam and Eve. And the Hebrew nation, when you read this in Hebrew, and I'm not going to go now to all of the vocabulary things in Hebrew to explain everything, but this is what Rashi is explaining here, and this is what our sages are saying. How it's written down here, it's basically saying, referring that the birth was given in Eden before the sin. And it's very important to understand that, because it's saying, basically, the hidden assumption here is that every person that is being born up in this world is basically without any sin. He is coming to this world clean from any sins. He is pure soul that doesn't have any, it doesn't it's not carrying on his shoulder any sin. It doesn't need anyone that will give him mercy, anyone that he needs to rely on that will give him new life, or the life will to come. Nothing at all. He is pure and he can be without any sins. This is how we read this Bible. So this is point number one, and it's very important. Point number two to understand here is even more profound and more important point to understand what's happening. And we said this once, maybe in a hidden way last week, but I must explain this again here in more broader way. Usually, when we lost the prophecy 2,400 years ago, we started to use our brain with much more importance of the brain. And we thought that we are very logical. And we started to investigate, to ask questions. Who is God? What is God? How exactly He's doing, and everything else. And the great philosophers who believed in God, not everybody believed in God, gave answers that God is the most wise thing in this world, is the most powerful thing in this world. Now, when you're saying those words, He is the most wise thing in this world, What he's saying basically that there is a scale, and the scale is starting with someone that is a very dumb, very full person, and someone that is very smart. And this scale is continuing on to levels of smartness that be much bigger and higher than what we have in our brain. And on this long scale, God is very, very, very smart if you compare him to any person here in this world. Now, it's saying basically that we are in the same scale. Maybe he's very smart, but I'm also smart. I'm so smart. He's very smart. Something like that. In the Hebrew tradition, we're not speaking about God on those levels. We're saying that God is the one who is giving life. And man is the one who is getting life. Therefore, we are not on the same scale. That's it. We have a very big gap between those things. Now, if I want to get closer to someone else, I need that my will be on the same tune with the will of my friend. If my will be in a different tune, so I won't be a good, close friend with him. Look on the politics in the United States. If someone is Republican and the other one is on the other side, okay, Democrat, they can't speak one with each other. You know, they all the time have fights. Why? Because in their will, in their mind, they're in different ways. So if we're taking the same thing, I want to get close to God because I got life from God. But the problem is that God is all the time giving life, and I'm receiving life some of the time far from him. It's a problem. How can I get close to God? From the moment that we went out from our mother's womb, someone smacked our back, and we started to cry. And since then, we are breathing, and we are also eating, and we all the time receiving life, receiving air, receiving everything, and we are just far away from God. Now think for a moment about Adam and Eve. Adam and Eve were created as 20 years old, and they knew God, they spoke with him, and they just got life, and they ask themselves all the time, how can we get close to God? Because we are very far from him. We are only receiving life. He is giving life. And then something happened, something surprising. Okay? They conceived and bore Cain. Suddenly, they are also not only receiving life, they are also giving life. Oops. How do we call for someone that is doing, I will say, a redemption to someone else? In the Hebrew tradition, we're saying that he is the Messiah. He is the Messiah for the one that he gave him good, a lot of goodness. Cain, in some sort of point, if we will think about this, deeply inside, we're starting to understand that Cain is basically the Messiah for Adam and Eve, because now they can get closer to God. They are not only receiving life in their will, in their behavior, they're also giving life. Therefore, they can start to get closer to God. Not only receiving, also getting. Not only getting life, also receiving life, also giving life. So Cain is a very, very important person here. He is the most important person here. Basically, we can close the history. The Messiah came. And now we're moving on to the next verse. And the next verse is very, very surprising. If the first one was surprising, the next one is very surprising. Okay? So I will read it in Hebrew, and then Dan, you will read it in English. ותוסף ללדת את אחיו את האבל, ויהי הבל רועה צאן, וקין היה עובד אדמה. Please.
And she continued to bear his brother Abel, and Abel was a shepherd of the flocks, and Cain was a tiller of the soil.
So first of all, and she continued. The continuous here was amazing. She never thought that you need to give another birth, but suddenly it came also. And before we giving his name, in Hebrew, before we giving his name, in a moment we'll speak about his name, this is his name. Before we giving his name, we're giving him something else. We're giving him the understanding that he is a brother of Cain. And it's very interesting to understand because Cain can think for himself. And this is what's happening usually in the families. When the first one is born, everybody is looking on the first one, this first one that was born, and they're saying, prizing him and everything else. When the second, the first one is feeling like he is the best thing here in this world. He is the next generation. Everybody's giving him a lot of the time and kindness and smiling and everything else. And suddenly, someone else is being born here in his area. And the someone else, in Hebrew, the word ach, brother, is also connected with the word responsible. The second one is teaching the first one to have responsible to someone else. Because the second one, he is already, when the second one is being born, he see that there is someone older than him. But the first one was sure till now that he is the Messiah for his parents. Nobody else here in this area can come inside. Suddenly, he needs to learn that there is someone else. And this is also what the Bible is saying to us, because I don't need to know to say the word that he was his brother of Cain, or that he was brother of Cain. This is something that we understand. The Bible is trying to tell us, to teach us. The Torah is trying to tell us that the second one is teaching the brotherhood to the first one. And now we're going inside to the next step of history. If the first one was a failure, where Adam and Eve did a sin in front of God, the second generation, God is giving another opportunity to repair everything with a brotherhood that will come together between those two. And this is what's happening here.
Amazing.
And we also can learn that from the name of Abel. The name in Hebrew, in the Hebrew language, is also the word for the word purpose of life. What is your purpose of life? It's the same word like what is your name. The same word. And the word Abel in Hebrew, is saying nonsense. Abel, as someone, he is a nonsense. He have no, I will say, presence here. His presence is only for his brother. And we can see this also more than that. What was his mission in life? He was shepherd. What is shepherd? Shepherd is someone that is saying to himself, I'm only leading them to their purpose in life. I'm nothing here. I have nothing. I'm not going to. Every teacher is a shepherd. This is his main role. I need to lead my brother to have more responsibility to others. This is the mission of life. And Cain, he was a tiller of the soil. In Hebrew, it's even more than that. I won't go inside too much. But Cain was, he was working the land. Well, let's say it like that. And after a few days after that, Vahimi gets him in. Now it came to pass at the end of the days. We can hear the sense end of days. When are we saying about end of days? End of days, it's the days of Messiah. We could have closed here all the history of the world.
Amazing.
We came to the end of days. Now there are two people here in this world, and they are supposed only to be with brotherhood and with responsibility one to each other. But first of all, they're doing something else. They are giving fruit and soil and offering to the Lord, to God. This is what they're doing. But let's go inside to the mind of Cain and to the mind of Abel. Cain is always feeling. You want to ask something, Dan?
Well, no, Rabbi, I was thinking, now it came to pass at the end of days. Is there not a link to Rosh Hashanah there?
Also, not only, but also to the Rosh Hashanah, okay? It's more hinting to the end of days that it could have been here at the end of history because everything was supposed to be nice. The brotherhood was supposed to be togetherness, and that's it. And also the connection with God. But here we're starting to see the problems raising up to the surface. Let's go inside to the mind of Cain and to the mind of Abel. The mind of Cain is very simple. I am the oldest here. I'm the Messiah for my parents. And the other one, he is secondary. Therefore, everything that is the most important here is for me. And I will bring God from the rest of the things. Please read verse number 3 and Rashi for verse number 3.
Verse number 3. Now it came to pass at the end of days that Cain brought of the fruit of the soil an offering to the Lord. Of the fruit of the soil, Rashi says, of the most inferior, Genesis Rabbah 22:5, and there is an Agadah that states that it was flaxseed, and that's from Midrash Bereshit 9, Targum.
Midrash, okay. And the main thing is to understand that Cain is taking for himself the most important, and he's giving to God to the second things, not the most important things. But Abel, who understands that he is a secondary here in this book, he was a second person in the family, he is bringing something else. Please read verse number 4, Dan, if it's okay.
Verse number 4, and Abel, he too brought of the firstborn of his flocks and of the fattest. And the Lord turned to Abel and to his offering. Turned in Hebrew, and then he turned, likewise, means he did not turn. So, and to his offering.
Don't read Rashi. Rashi is very complicated. Leave him alone. The most important thing is to see that Abel is giving the firstborn to God and also the fattest to God. Why is that? Because Abel understands that he is a secondary, so he will get for himself the secondary things. He will give God the most important things. Everybody here is doing exactly what he's supposed to do. And God also is saying the same thing. God is turning to Abel and to his offering. And the next verse will be, or the next 3 verses will be, that God is explaining to Cain, is explaining to him, it is something that you can control. It depends on your behavior. You have free will. You don't need to be so annoyed. You don't need to be so concerned. It's not that you failed. It is depend on your behavior. If you will behave, if you will try the maximum, you will manage. Dan, please read verse number 7.
Verse 7, it is not that if you improve, it will be forgiven you. If you do not improve, however, at the entrance, sin is lying, and to you it is longing, but you can rule over it.
So God, we see a few things. First of all, we see that God is speaking with Cain. Cain is a prophet. Abel is not a prophet. Cain is a prophet. Second thing that we see that God is going to him and saying to him, listen, it depends on your behavior. You can improve and you can decide not to improve. If you won't improve, so the sin will wait for you until the ends of days. But if you will improve, you will manage. We're starting to see that God here is giving not only, I will say, the next opportunity between man and his fellow men, but God is also giving the guidance, how exactly to behave and what exactly are the key way, how to behave in the right way. And now we're continuing on that in verse number 8, please.
Verse number 8 says, and Cain spoke to Abel, his brother, and it came to pass when they were in the field that Cain rose up against Abel, his brother, and slew him.
And we're learning here something amazing, that there are, I will say, the second failure in this world. The second failure is that instead of being in the brotherhood and living together, they are killing each other. Or basically, Cain is killing Abel. Now I have a question. I'm stopping the share for a moment, and I'm asking all of you, please, to answer me. What was the punishment of Abel?
Yeah, he died.
He died. He died. Excellent. What was the punishment of Cain?
He had to live.
To live, but in an exile, right?
He was
Yeah.
exiled
So,
where he looked like an animal.
Sorry? Like Adam.
He was
So what
exiled.
It was exile like Adam. Exactly what we said before. So what is more biggest punishment to get? To die or to be exiled?
Be exiled.
He has to be exiled.
To be exiled is a bigger punishment? Look how much
to
you are
die.
closed-minded. Thank you, Timothy. You were already with me in the first one. Look how much we are all closed-minded. I think that to die is much harder punishment than to be exiled. With all of the respect, Abel, that's it. He's passing away. We won't see him anywhere in this world. You know where I can see that? If I will open up the end of days, what we call, I will do it. I will do it in a moment. Let's share the screen again. Let's open for a moment, okay? Again, the Bible in a different window, and I will go to the last book, of the Bible, that is explaining or showing all the history. And please tell me who is missing in this. It's called, I don't know how it's called in English. I'm not sure how it's called in English. In Hebrew, it says Divrei Hayamim, the words of all of the days. Yes, okay? And please tell me who we don't see. It's stunning with a list of people. Okay? Adam, Seth, Enoch, Canaan, Mahalalel, Yaret. Who we don't see here?
Cain or Abel.
We don't see Cain, we don't see Abel. Okay? But Cain, we see him in those verses, and God is speaking with him. Now, it's very simple. It's very interesting to say all the time. Cain is very bad, and it's true. I'm not saying that Cain was okay. What I'm trying to say, that when we are trying to compare the mission of Cain and the mission of Abel, someone there was much worse than Cain. Someone there vanished. Now, in the verse that I showed now, we don't see also Cain. But the reason that we don't see Cain, it's because of the continuance of this chapter. Okay, we're not learning now all the continuance of the chapter. At this point, God is giving him another 7 generations of opportunity to restore, to do what we call to do tshuva, to do the repentance. Right? This is the name, repentance. To do repentance on his behavior. God is giving him another 7 generation, not 1, 7 generation. Okay, he is giving him an opportunity to behave back normal, and he's speaking with him. So we say few things. First of all, we never saw that God spoke with Abel, but he spoke with Cain. So Cain was a prophet. Abel wasn't a prophet. We see that God is killing Abel through Cain. I don't know, okay? But he is not killing Cain. He's giving him another opportunity. So someone there did a much greater sin than Cain. I know that usually we're not learning it like that, but this is why we're learning here now. Now, I want to learn again this verse number 8, okay? Where it says in Hebrew, Vayomer Cain el Abel achiv, and Cain spoke with Abel, his brother. He stood up. Okay? And Cain rose up. What is rose up? So we need to understand he was underneath Abel. So now our sages are teaching us that Abel was much stronger than Cain. He was stronger than him. And when they started to fight, Abel was on top Cain. And he said to him, I'm going to kill you. And Cain said to him back, if you will kill me, what are you going to say to father and mother, to Adam and Eve? And when Abel heard that, he said to himself, if he is saying this to me, so maybe he's on the same level of morality that I am. And he said to himself, okay, fair enough. I will go down from you and let's stop the fight. So he went down, and then Cain rose up and killed him. Now, what our sages are trying to say to us is that the person who is in charge on education, and leadership, and shepherd others, have much more responsibility to bring his shepherd to the right level. And if he is not doing that, he will get punishment, even harder than the one that wasn't came or didn't come to this level, because it's his responsibility. And this is what's happening here. Cain had responsibility to teach, Abel had responsibility to teach, to shepherd Cain to a level of morality, and he failed. Therefore, God said, so let's put him aside. He is getting killed, and that's it. And this is also, by the way, one of the things that Cain is saying to God. What do you want from me? Look at the verse number 9. When God is asking, where is Abel, your brother? And Abel says, I don't know. I'm a brother keeper. If you wanted to keep my brother alive, you had a lot of ways that I won't manage, I won't succeed in my behavior. But you let me to kill him. So you are part of this program. You are partner with me for killing Abel. This is the answer that Cain is giving him. And God is not answering him, no, you're not. God is saying to him, you know what? Let's wait. Let's see exactly about your behavior. Let's see what's happening. And at the meantime, you have a punishment of exile. Again, we see the second time, exile. And from there on, we're moving on. I'm not going inside to this. You can go back to the videos that we have on the YouTube, because we learned that. But we see how at the 7th generation, we're starting to understand that Cain is a chain, I will say, chain of generations, that they are murdering people. They don't care for the life of others. And this is where God will say, enough is enough. Let's wipe all of this humanity and bring the flood. And we will take out only one seed from this flood, Noah, his sons. And the next part will be that there will be one part of this, all of this humanity. The name will be Abraham, and Abraham will rebuild a nation with the people that are coming and connecting to this nation. It's not only this nation, it's written down a lot of places that there are a lot of people who are connecting to this Abraham and to this nation, and there are going to be the people that are going to teach or to give education to the world for becoming in the right way, how to behave in this world. And when they are not going to behave correctly, what will happen to them? They will go out to an exile. Oops! Suddenly we see how the Hebrew nation is going out to an exile. But God is also saying that at the end of days, this nation will restore themselves back, and suddenly will come back in the end of days, like new nation will build up their homeland and everything else, and they will have to say to the world a lot of things. We see in the history how things are in the same, I will say, the logical, it's the same logical. It's the same way how it's working, everything here. Question till now. You don't need to be, I'm saying if you think, yes. Terry, yes, you can speak, but open your microphone.
All right. This is really interesting. My mind is going wide open with this.
I'm recording that, and I'm going to put this on the internet from place to place.
In Exodus chapter 4, we are informed that Israel is the firstborn.
Where, Exxon?
In
Okay.
Exodus 4:22, Moses was to tell Pharaoh, Israel is my son, my firstborn.
Yes, it's right.
So could it be that in Cain and Abel, we have a type, however you want to put it, of Israel and the nations being the second born? Could the righteous, I'm saying could the righteous of the nations that is coming forth, especially at this time, be making shuvah for Abel and doing what Abel should have been doing for Cain? We are upholding our brother, our firstborn brother, Israel. We're joining with him, but we are upholding him at this time in their position as firstborn. So could that be
You're asking,
we can learn from this story?
Yes. First of all, you're asking a very, very deep question, and the answer is a bit complicated, but I'll try to do it very simplest as I can do in those moments that we have. As we can see here, okay, we have Adam, and then Seth, and then Enoch. The truth is that both Abel and Cain, at the end of days, they are being wiped up, but it's not the full truth, because Cain, okay, have a very interesting one part of Cain is staying with us, and the name is Naamah. Naamah is one of the children's of destiny of Cain, and as you can see here in the word Naamah, Rashi commentator, okay, she was Noah's wife.
Noah's wife.
So we see here in the next chapter, we see that, I'm sorry, just a moment, let me scroll. In the next chapter, we see that we know, and we said that before, that Adam was born in the image of God. We don't see that Abel or Cain is getting this image of God. We do see that this is the narrative of the generation of man, and the day that God created man in the likeness of God, he created him. Okay? And then we see in verse number 3, please Dan, read verse number 3.
Verse number 3, and Adam lived 130 years, and he begot in his likeness after his image, and he named him Seth.
So only Seth is also in the likeness of after the image of the man. But we have also Naamah, one person from the destiny of Cain that is with us. We have nothing from the destiny of Abel. Nothing stayed. Okay? So basically, we have here the next world to repair after the flood is something, or the main chain of the chain of Seth and Adam. And we have here also the woman's side is coming from Cain. Abel got lost in history altogether. Now, I'm saying again, it's a bit more complicated, but to do it simplest, I said those words like that. And those who are gathering around the Hebrew nation, okay, those people are related to all of the population that is here. Now, the Hebrew nation is coming to the world only in chapter number 10. Only in chapter number 12. In chapter number 10, already we have, after the flood, the 70 nations. Only in chapter number 12, we will have the Hebrew nation that is coming also. So it's a good question why God is saying, this is my first son, because we don't see him here. We do what we say, or if we try to understand that, what we say is that in the beginning of history, Adam was supposed to be, for all of the humanity, the main person, like the Israel nation. But the humanity fell down, first of all, in the relationship between man and God, Adam's sin. And then in the relationship between man and his fellow man, Cain and Abel sin. So the humanity is falling down. And there is, we are going to learn that in this Genesis learning studies, how the forefathers of the Hebrew nation, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, is repairing those sins. And this is also related a bit to what's happening, specifically those sins. And there's another sin that we're going to speak about, not now. There's another sin, and how the forefathers, three forefathers of the Hebrew nation are repairing those sins, and those who are getting closer to the Hebrew nation basically understand, fulfill themselves with this, and also being part of this thing. And I think that I said it more than once to a few people, and also for some of those who are sitting here, that me as a Jewish person, as a Jewish rabbi, it's not Jewish, as an Israeli rabbi, okay, that my grandparent also was a rabbi, and his father was a rabbi, and I have a chain of 6 rabbis above me. It's very heavy on my shoulder here, what's happening here. I don't have the same purpose in life like all of you have, because if I will come, for example, to England and try to speak with the community of Peter community, or if I will come to the United States and I will try to speak with the community of Tony, they will say to me, look, you are from the other side of the line, you're not part of us. But those are things that you can do. And this is where things are starting to be very, all the brotherhoods. We're starting to reconnect and to rebuild back the brotherhood that is happening in this world. And we're managing to repair it. But all of you have much more important, I will say, role in life, because each one of you in your community, in your place, have what to give to your neighbors, to your in your area, okay? And what you said, what you offered me, Tony, in the last message that you sent me, and it's an amazing one, and I'm thinking how to do that. Okay, we are going to do that, but we need to understand that. We need to understand the structure of what's happening here.
So
okay,
Israel is restoring Adam and God.
Exactly.
The Noahides are restoring Cain and Abel, the relationship man to man.
And
yes,
but yes, you can say it like that. Excellent. You can say it like that. Okay, more questions, people. Feel comfortable. Oh, Jacobi is here from India. Can you raise your hand? But it's very, very late there. So very appreciated. Yes, okay. More questions, people. Do you have any more questions?
Yeah, Rabbi, I know that during our former lessons, you did a great job explaining some of the detail of the names of the descendants and the functions that are intertwined into their Hebrew names that really unfurled and brought the story alive to understand that there is a complete thread of connection and idea and in what Hashem is doing. So here's some great lessons if you guys want to go back. I'd say 3 months ago, I know Renat and Mattis over in Vilnius sat in, and they were some great classes, and we got into some really good discussions. So
it's true. I know it is true. And this is something that I must say that we're putting here foundations of the positive way to learn the Bible. But one of the things that we need to know is that the Bible was written down in Hebrew, because the Hebrew is a language that God is speaking with the prophets. And the Hebrew language is a very unique one, very, very unique one, where every letter is like a brick. Every letter have a meaning. And when you're taking few bricks together, they're bringing a very deeper meaning together. And there is a reason where you're changing each letter, and it's bringing a lot of great understanding to what's happening. And you're losing everything when you're starting to translate, because those words, lemech, metushelach, and all those things, they have understanding. There are meanings. Every word, as I said, every name, the The word name in Hebrew have two meanings. It's how do you call me, and also what is my purpose in life. Okay, those are two, the same meaning. What is your name is what is your purpose in life. So when there is a name, okay, the name Cain, for example, in Hebrew, the name Cain is saying, everything is mine. Everything is mine. I own everything here in this world. I bought everything. Now we spoke before, a few minutes ago, we explained that Cain is, when he is born, he is thinking that he is the central of the world. Everything is related to him. He is the most important here. And he needs someone else to teach him, the second one, that he is not the most important. Now we're starting to understand. This is the word Cain. Cain is, everything is mine. Don't touch anything. Only ask my permission. I will take what I want to take. It's related. And the name Abel, as I said, in Hebrew it says nonsense. Let's look at history. Abel was here as a very short episode, and basically he's a nonsense in our world. Nothing. He moved away, like the wind. Passed with the wind. Who remember this movie, Passed with the Wind? That's it. And nothing. This is a word.
Hey, Pastor.
Hey, just want to remind everybody before everybody leaves, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday night, 10 p.m. Eastern time. You could get a link on my website, on my Facebook page. We have a 2-hour meeting. Anybody can come talk about what they want. It's a community. It's a community that's building together from people all over the world. And on 8 p.m. on Wednesday, and because it's Hag for us, it's Passover, Terry Hayes and Scotty are going to be running it the next 2 weeks, and they have a very special presentation for you guys. And I think it'll be really exciting for you to come. And that means tonight, later today, I guess, your guys' time at 10 p.m. Eastern time, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Come join us, have some fun, get to know some people, just open talk. If you need, if anybody has any questions, but I think I'll certainly try to answer to the depth of my knowledge anyway. So hope to see you there.
I'm also pushing for that. It's very important. And I also must say also before we have a few minutes. It's okay. I have a few more minutes, but I must say that next week, we're jumping the next week. I'm not sure that I will be able to be because it's Passover for us.
Right.
And I'm with my family.
Understandable.
And twice a week, I'm giving my full week for my family. So
good for you.
So we're jumping 1 week, but I'm still here. So if you have any more questions or something to ask, so it's okay.
Could I ask a question?
Yes, Cody.
Okay.
Yes.
I didn't jump in over you, did I, Rabbi?
Sorry?
Yeah,
No, it's okay. It's okay. No,
okay,
ask.
okay.
Ask. Yeah, whatever it is.
Here in Tennessee, we have this question. So I'm just going to ask this question because I'm just trying to clarify in my own mind. And I know some of the others probably already have it. But we have this question, which come first, the chicken or the egg? And so we're still trying. So
it's all over the world. It's the same.
Okay, good.
Question.
So I'm going to see if I can put this down and you correct my positions where they're wrong. Hashem created Adam, split Adam into Adam and Eve. Cain and Abel was born, and then they left the garden. Did I have that right?
Exactly.
Baruch Hashem. Okay.
Exactly. And the meaning of this is that that everyone who is born in our world is not holding on his back the sin of Adam and Eve. And he doesn't supposed to have any one that will, how do you say it?
Redeem.
He doesn't need anyone to redeem.
No original sin, Rabbi. Yeah, exactly.
He's not a sinner. It's okay. And it's okay to have a family and everything is okay.
Can you explain that a little more depth? I got it, but can you explain that just a little more deeper? That was a great.
Yeah. Also, Rabbi, I think Scotty was trying to get to the point that you brought up today about Cain being born before the exile.
Yes.
Exactly. Yes.
So
the meaning of
Cain
this-
actually was born in the garden, is what you're stating.
Yeah, exactly. Cain and Abel were born in Eden.
Based on the letters
The-
that Rashi pointed out.
Yes, those are two words, and the vocabulary, not vocabulary. The vocabulary. How you speak the Hebrew, it says to us that all of this story that they were born was before the sin, and the understanding that what we understand from that, and this is how the Hebrew nation is explaining that every person, when he is born in this world, he is born white. I will say it like that. He is born without any. He's very clean. Everything is okay. He is starting his life in the great position that he could be good, and everything is good. Now, it is true that people are also doing sins, but the question is, what is your starting point? If your starting point is without any sin, so you will manage to clean yourself at the end of your days, that you will leave this world without any sins. But if your starting point is that when you were born, you already have the sins of your forefathers, Adam and Eve, you need someone that will help you to take them out from your shoulders. And this is also what the verse that we read in verse number 7 in chapter, just a moment, I will show it again, in chapter 3, okay? That God is saying to Cain.
Yeah, pay attention here, yeah.
God is saying to Cain in verse number 7 here, saying like that, it is all a question of your improvement. You have the possibility to improve, and if you will improve, everything is okay. And if you won't improve, so it will wait for you there. But it's all related to your behavior, not your father's behavior, Adam and Eve behavior, who knows? Because everyone was born here without any sin. This is the most important.
I had a pastor friend of mine, a former pastor friend of mine, and he would end every one of his service when he did an altar call. He would end every one of his services with how Adam blew it for all of us, and I always had a problem with that. And it's just funny though how people look for that motivation to continue down a negative path. But I see what Rabbi Goldberg's saying here in Genesis 3:7. You know, it's there if you will improve.
It's a very tricky way to be relied, to be all the time, to be relied on Jesus, okay, if you're saying those things. So emotionally, everybody's trying to say to himself, I don't want to get far from this one that will manage to give me redeem because I need it. We don't need it. Go away. I'm saying something here. We don't need it. We need to do repeatness. Everyone's supposed to do with himself repeatness. Everybody's supposed to believe that they could do repeatness. It's okay. I'm not saying that everyone is fixed and no one did mistakes. Usually people are doing mistakes, okay? Because of that, we are here in this world. We had a very great rabbi once that he said that when your wife is doing a mistake, don't get angry at her. Go hug her, kiss her, and say to her, thank you that you did a mistake. Because if you won't do any mistakes, you will be an angel and you won't be in this world. So now that you did a mistake, I can be with you in this world. So we need to understand that people are doing mistakes. So we need to do also some repeatness from time to time. But we came here clean to this world. Therefore, we can wash ourselves with this repeatness before we're going out from this world or every day to behave normal. And this is a very important point that is really different than others. Those are the foundation of how to learn this Bible.
Rabbi, I have a question. Shalom from Bill.
Shalom. Good to see you. Good to see you. Yeah, like that. Yeah.
Unfortunately, I cannot turn my camera on, but we have together with my wife this question.
Yes,
Uh,
yes, yes.
So regarding the original sin, in Judaism there is this notion as reincarnation or previous lives, right?
Again. I lost you.
Is in Judaism such a notion as someone had a previous life and then he did not completed his mission, he was sent again to earth, right?
Twice and 3 times, yes.
So does someone who has seen it, let's say, aggressively in the previous life carry over his sins to the new life, that the new mission will be much more challenging?
Not more challenging, but with the opportunity of fixing things that he did in the previous life.
Yeah, but
Not more challenging.
the sins from the previous life, do they carry over to the new life?
Because I'm not God, I don't know the exact answer for that. But I do know that it's not a question of much more hardness, but it is another opportunity to fix your sins. It's another way of opportunity to fix your sins. Okay, so there are a lot of questions from here. Okay, in your second life, you getting married again. Who is going to be your wife in your second life? Okay, or who is going to be your husband in your second life? There are a lot of what body will come back when the people will come in this reservation that we have. Okay, after the in the world to come, what body will come? There are a lot of questions that we don't really have the answer. We do know that there is another opportunity of doing redemption by that you're coming back to this world and you're getting another opportunity. But exactly all the details around this, we don't know here. There are a lot of things that we don't know here. It's like the same, I think that we said it once, like twins that they are in the mother's womb and they're starting a discussion. And one is saying, don't go out, you know what's happening there? Here, our mother is giving us food, it's warm, everything is nice, everything is safe, don't go out. And the other one is saying to him, no, to go out from my mother womb is to go to another greater life. But no one really knows inside his mother womb what exactly is happening. So in the outside, okay? And the same thing, we don't really know what's happening in the other side of the world. No one really came back to tell us. But we know a few things that we know that we got from our prophets.
Right, Rabbi, like Isaiah 55 says about Hashem, about the words that go from his mouth. They will not return to him void or empty. They'll always produce the fruit. And so when you're thinking reincarnation, when you're thinking returning, you need to understand that there's all an intricate link with Hashem's word not returning to him void, and the repairing and amending that we're doing to our own lives in the world around us that all play an intricate part. It has to do with that. I've even heard Peshek was sharing the difference between a neshama and a nefesh. I mean, the reality is what God is doing versus our free will. We run into some problems in deciphering the difference, but I'm very thankful that the Hebrew people have preserved such beauty in Torah so that we can begin to have clarity on the whole of the matter.
We're trying our best. I want to read the verse. I think that all of you know this verse, okay? And we're going to read only verse number 20 in Isaiah. It's the
Isaiah
26. Yes, Isaiah. Please read this verse, Dan.
Which one?
Verse number 20.
Verse number 20. Go, my peoples, come into your chambers and close your door about you. Hide but for a moment until the wrath passes.
I think that it's showing very much this verse what's happening today. Nowadays, where everybody is going inside their homes, and suddenly we need to speak again about the importance of the family. What is a family? And every nation is closing their doors, and every nation is very important for them to to be inside with themselves and to start to repair things. And those are the days that we have. We going back to the foundations of things, of life. Okay, after people forgot things, and what is the most important foundation of lives. And this is my opportunity, I'll say, to bless us all for a great days, the next coming Passover that we have, with a lot of health, a lot of wealth, and a lot of good days with your families and with your people. So hopefully in the next coming month, and even less than that, this small virus of corona, who is doing all the world to become crazy, will manage to go down, and hopefully we'll manage to recover this thing. And it's teaching us how much not everything is only dependent on our mind and I will say greatness and understanding in life, because not everything we understand. Here it is, something so small managed to bring all of the world to a crazy world where everything shut down and changed from one side to another side. So it's my opportunity to bless all of us to greatness of life and to a lot of blessing. And I'm also offering again things that we did 3 weeks ago and 4 weeks ago, to go to the to go and to take the prayer book and to pray every day to God, to say thank you for the things that we have, and to pray for our friends and to others that God will lead them to the right way of mind, and also that God will give them a lot of strength and wealth and health. And this is the main things that we can do. And I'm also urging you all of you to take the link that in the chat here. We have a link in the chat that Pesach gave here, the link in the chat. So you'll manage to, no, Pesach, you didn't put the link?
No, I'll put it in right now. I just, correction on, it's 10 p.m. Eastern Time, USA, 5 a.m. Israel time, by the way, for all the users that want to know. No, I didn't put it in. I just invited to come to my Facebook page for it.
Okay. So you can go to the Facebook page of Pesach. I also need to close the room because the next group is coming on. And I want to thank you all also for coming. And we're going to see each other another 2 weeks.
2 weeks then. So nice to see you all. It's so nice to see people from around the world. We have people from India today. You know, it's nice to see Solveig in Germany. We know we got our friends in Lithuania. It's just exciting. So, folks, on the YouTube broadcast, we had a good crowd. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
Anna from Norway. Yeah.